I obviously love Vainglory. I wouldn't be doing the game if I didn't love it. It's actually probably one of the games that I play the most right now and enjoy the most right now. But the one thing that you have is, I like to compare it in the tiers of esports, right? So when people from outside esports look at esports, they say esports, right? I mean, some people get it, some people don't. A lot of people have a lot of stigma associated to it. Think now, get rid of the outside of esports. Think of esports as the outside of esports, and then there's mobile esports. And people look from the esports world, look at mobile esports, and they say, it's mobile esports, it's not really an esport, is it? So it still has that stigma attached to it, in the sense that we have to fight our corner as mobile gaming being a viable platform for high quality level gameplay that you could achieve on a computer. And I believe SEMC's philosophy is, there's 20, 30, 40, 50 times more mobile devices in the world than there are PCs, so it must make sense that if you can bring a high quality level of gameplay that could be an esport to a phone, you have a market and an audience that is just far larger and far more accessible. And I honestly, Vainglory is incredible for a mobile game. And I'm not even saying that, obviously I'm hired by the guys, I mean I'm gonna say that, right? But it is incredible for a mobile game. I've never played a mobile game quite like it. It is almost like PC entertainment on your mobile, and that's what makes it so special.
What are your thoughts on the British angle as well? Companies like Super Evil using the O2 to host their tournaments, and also we've got Palmatoro from Fnatic. Yeah. Mr. K. Cool's not playing here, but also Cyclone are an Irish organisation here, right? What are your thoughts on the British sort of involvement in Vainglory?
It's fantastic. We've got Mr. K. Cool, like you said, he's actually just made it back into the professional Vainglory League, so he's now made it back through. Got a great British presence in Vainglory, got quite a good community here as well. It's growing, it is small, there's no really other way of phrasing it, but it's great to see that SEMC have considered London as a place to host their Unified Live Championships. They obviously try and vary it up across the world. We've had some in Berlin, had some in Cologne, had some in Seattle, had some in LA, been kind of all over the place for our championships, but it's wonderful to see it come back to London. I know last time it was in the Gfinity Arena, so it's not the first time that it's been in London. It's now the second time it's here, and it's got obviously ESL UK doing the production for it, so it's fantastic there. Just fantastic to have that sort of element of direct involvement, because we don't often get that with a lot of other esports, especially being a dedicated area. You sometimes have esports grace, like sometimes League of Legends do a weekend here or whatever, but it's fantastic to have the finals held in London, because it makes it that much more special for especially us who a large portion of the team is a British casting team. Feels fantastic to have it here in a home country.
Yeah, I was going to say that actually. There's other British casters here as well, Dowsey and everything.
As well. Yeah, we've got Dowsey, we've got me, Jackson, technically British with his British passport, Xingyi, Jaws. A lot of these guys who are casters, they wouldn't have had the opportunities in other esports. Yeah, I think they would have done well in other esports. Like, I know Jaws is really good in Overwatch. He has a big league passion as well. But they wouldn't have had this level of opportunity this quickly in other esports, and they found a really good market now to put themselves out there as casters and build a profile for themselves, which is I love as well. And Xingyi is a great role model for women in esports. She's a fantastic caster and analyst, and she does a great job of representing women in esports, and I'm very proud to have a female caster who is better, if not equally on par with everybody on the casting team. She's fantastic.
BBC sort of are doing some coverage this weekend. What's your views on mainstream media's coverage of esports? Do you welcome BBC doing things like this?
So it's funny, I went to the Telegraph Conference of Sport fairly recently. I had a really good time there, did a panel with Chester King, CEO of British Esports Association, Chris Mead, who's Director of Partnerships at Twitch, and Christian, I can't remember his name, Christian, I just called him Christian all the time. He's head of marketing in Audi Denmark. Christian Thorn. Yeah, Christian Vagelin Thorn. There we go. We had a panel. It was really good. I thought it was really productive. We talked about a lot. But when I did an informal panel, a lot of the approach from the outside media was, how do I make money from esports? And aren't you promoting unhealthy lifestyle for kids? I got that. I got riled up a little bit, because at the end of the day, sports is a fantastic activity. We're not trying to compete with sports. We are a credible activity that you can use and use to build skills that are very valuable in everyday life: teamwork, leadership, communication, mental calculation, tactics, understanding. There's so many fantastic skills you can learn from esports that it should be viewed as a credible activity rather than a sport, and it should be therefore balanced in your lifestyle with physical activity and sport that is going to give you other health benefits. So. When I had the woman come up to me and say, aren't you promoting unhealthy kids here? How dare you, try and push esports into the wider population when it could be, we've already got an obesity epidemic. And I said, it's not esports, it's the problem, my love. It's bad parenting. If you're going to let your kid play video games 20 hours a day, then you've got to try and balance the lifestyle. But yeah, I think in general, esports coverage in the wider media has got better. Like the BBC did a little 2-minute segment on it on BBC Breakfast. Not condescending. It was really like, sort of nicely thought out. There was nothing like, oh, you need to get out more. There was a little bit of a comment at the end, but other than that, I thought it was generally some good coverage. I think now it's getting more credible. People are starting to approach it in a better light, and I like that. That's really good. I think we need to have that working with the mainstream media to make sure that we feel represented fairly, and also that they can voice their concerns, because there are concerns. We would be naive to say that there aren't concerns, right? But we want to be able to have a nice, healthy discussion about esports, and so it's getting better.
Okay, is there anything else you want to add? I'm seeing Kirsty here in the corner of my eye, so hurry up, Dom.
No, I'm good, mate. Esports News UK, your home for all the memes.